Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise, and we are back again. It's Friday, January 14th, and we're going to do some drawing today, like we always do. We're going to create some art. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk. I got a new lid.
New lid.
I got a new lid. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
I have the first haircut I've gotten in 5 months. So that feels good.
5
Leia
months.
Galloway over at Great Expectations in Orlando or in DeLand cuts my hair. She does an awesome job. She's awesome.
And I think
But
I think last time I got my hair cut was when I actually buzzed my head
oh yeah,
during COVID. Or no, it was
yeah. I buzzed mine right before we went to Africa. I just buzzed it right down to the skin again, and then it just let it grow out and get shaggy. But anyway, we got some fun stuff coming up. First of all, we got Tim Hodge. Tim Hodge's course on do-it-yourself animation techniques, stop motion, zoetropes, all kinds of cool stuff. Especially for the younger people in your family, it's going to be a really great introduction to animation. It's so much fun, especially to do some of these things as a family. You guys are going to really love this. It comes out tomorrow, and so we've been working on that like crazy, getting it edited, getting the sound working right, getting everything perfect. And so that comes out tomorrow. That's Tim Hodge's Do-It-Yourself Animation Techniques. It's pretty cool. Actually, he does some stuff with the logo soldiers, or not logo, Lego, like the
yeah,
soldiers.
McDonald's, a Burger King. Could do that.
It's pretty fun. Yeah, McDonald's and Burger King, exactly. So, we got another big announcement. Hold on, I gotta get a sip of my cafe americano.
Coffee.
We are having our next live event online is coming up, and that's on February 26th. I'm really excited about it. We're going to be talking about live costume figure drawing. We cut together a little promo. I want you to see real quick, and then we can talk some more about it. Go ahead, run it, Dustin. Go. Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and I'm very excited to tell you about my next live event. It's going to be February 26th, and we're going to be doing a course, an all-day course from 11 a.m. Eastern Time till whenever, usually about 5 hours, but it's an all-day course on costumed figure drawing. Now this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do something a little different this time, where I'm going to bring in live models, and I'm going to set up my easel, and I'm going to be using traditional media. Now, hold on. That doesn't mean that you have to use traditional media. If you want to use an iPad or a Cintiq and work digitally alongside, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But I'm going to work traditionally. I might try some watercolor, some charcoal, some pencil, who knows. But I'm going to be using live models, costumed. And so we're going to be talking about fabric. We're going to be talking about folds. I'm going to talk about lighting and how lighting hits the form. We're going to be talking about features, hair, all kinds of stuff, along with doing gestural drawings, 1-minute poses, 2-minute poses, 5-minute poses, 20, and even a long rendered pose. So there's going to be a completely full day. It's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, that's February 26th at 11 a.m. So go on over to creatureartteacher.com/live and you can get all the information there. Now remember, spots are going to be limited. So if this is something you're interested in, jump on it. We're going to have a lot of fun. And like I said, it's an absolutely full day. It's a lot of drawing. It's a lot of information. But most of all, like I said, it's going to be fun. So I hope to see you there. Go on out there, put some beauty back into the world, and we'll do some figure drawing together. Thanks. And there you go. Look, I'm wearing the same shirt, so it's not as jarring. So anyway, we're really excited about this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said in the video, we're going to have live models there. I'm going to be working traditionally. We're going to have a really great camera set up. Actually going to have to tear apart our music room and really get that set up for broadcasting. But I'm really excited about it, and I think it's going to be really special. And once again, I want to reiterate, like I did in the video, that the spaces are limited. I really want to keep it to a certain number of people so that if there are questions, I can answer them and I can treat it a little bit more like a classroom style. So there you go. So that's what we're going to be doing on February 26th. Very, very excited about it.
February.
What's that?
February.
February. Exactly. And then, and also we've got my animation course is coming out next week. So really excited about that too, but stay tuned for that. What else have I got? Anything else other than we got Nick Birch here and we got Dustin Blaise here.
Hey, everybody.
And so let's just dive in. One thing I wanted to show you guys, I've been feeling kind of stagnant. Like every artist gets every once in a while, you just feel like you're hitting a wall. And in the last week or two, I've been feeling like that. And so I tried to break through, and I've been forcing myself to do more just outside my wheelhouse, more story-driven type stuff. And also, I look at other artists, and I get inspired by other artists. There's an artist that I was looking at that was doing some work with water that I thought was really cool, and so I thought I'd try my hand at kind of doing my own versions of that. And so these are 3 illustrations that I did this past week, just in my own time, sitting and drawing in the evening, after work. The leopard on the right was one that I did earlier in the week, and then the other 2 with the water, I tried later on in the week. The one in the middle is actually a memory of mine. I thought it might be kind of fun to start illustrating some of my memories of being a child growing up in South Florida and all of the adventures that I had. And so I'm going to be doing a little bit more of that as like a little side themed project. And this was one that I had when my buddy and we were fishing out in Naples Bay down in South Florida. We always had adventures, always had brushes with wildlife in the ocean, and we were always in the Gulf of Mexico. And we were up on this oyster bar fishing in the bay trying to catch some snook. And up out of the deep part of the bay and right up into the shallow, right between my buddy and I, came this spotted eagle ray. And I just had this really cool memory of it. And it was so giant and its wingtips flapping out of the water. And I thought, man, I've got so many of these memories. It would be kind of fun to start illustrating them. And so that's what I'm doing there. Today, I wanted to kind of keep going with that theme of more story-driven illustrations. And I have this idea, and I like doing these illustrations looking down into the water. There's something about that technique that I'm kind of wanting to portray more and more of. I love seeing the what's that called, Nick? The spectral...
Specular. There's the caustics is when the light coming through the water.
Yeah, the caustics. Oh, yeah. Those are the rays, right?
Yep.
But when you see the actually hitting the bottom and all that, that's the specular stuff, right? Yeah, I love depicting that and figuring out, kind of getting the layering. You see the bottom, but you also have to get the surface of the water and the way the light is reflected in the uneven surfaces. And it's one thing to do it, looking across water, but it's another looking down into it. And that's something I'm just kind of like, I would just want to do a little bit more of. Thought it'd be fun. So I got this idea for this illustration of, I was reading about Florida and old Florida. I mean, I'm like 10,000 years ago. I was reading about Cape Canaveral and how it came about, and Cape Canaveral, which is the Cape just east of where I live, has only been there for about 7,000 years, 10,000 years, something like that. And it formed, with the rising and lowering of the water and all that. And but there was a lot of different wildlife, big alligators, crocs, and natives that lived here, starting about 12,000 years ago. And I just thought of this idea of this native, and maybe there is a maneater alligator or croc that's come through the village, and he's got to go out and take care of this guy.
Before you dive into the drawing, someone did ask a question about the live workshop event, and they just wanted to know, how would this differ from the course on drawing fabric that you put out?
It's basically going to be the same. It's just that I'm going to be doing it live. So if you have questions, because I want it to be kind of a companion piece to that. So,
well, I think there'll be a lot of overlapping information, but it won't be exactly the same.
No, it's not going to be the same. I'm not copying the course,
yeah,
but it'll be overlapping information.
Different models,
completely different models and poses and all that sort of thing. So, but the information will be very similar. It's just that I'll be doing it live, and you can ask questions, and that's going to be the biggest benefit is you being able to interact and ask questions.
And I have another workshop question from over here because somebody's saying that they can only stay for a few hours if they do during the workshop.
Yes. So if you are a paying student of the workshop and you have to leave early, you will get a copy of it.
Yep.
Now we won't. We're not selling. We're not selling copies of the workshop outside of the students that pay for it. So if you actually pay for a spot, you'll get an exclusive copy of it, and nobody else will.
But you can't buy it after the fact, so you have to register.
You will not be able to buy the course after the fact. Only if you're a student. We try to keep them. We try to do that to keep it a bit more exclusive, and for the folks that do it, and not try not to be so greedy. Because other folks do that. I've seen other teachers that will charge people money to be at the course, and then they do the course, and all of a sudden they sell the course afterwards, and they don't tell the students that it's. I just think that's wrong.
Well, that's messed up.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really messed up. All right, let's see here. Let's do. I want to do a new document, and we're going to do 24 by 18. I want to do a horizontal. And let's bring it down here.
And also, if you remember, does the fee still apply? If you're a subscriber?
Yeah, this is
If you're a go ahead.
So if you're a subscriber, you get an automatic discount on the price, but it's not included in the actual membership. You get a percentage off.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to build this up from one of the things I like to do when I'm doing these types of illustrations is I build them up from the background forward. In this case, I'm just going to be doing some sketching. So I want to sketch the croc first. The crocodilian.
Detlef says hi.
Hey, Detlef.
And says Happy New Year. And Erica asking, I think I got emailed earlier about it. It's included as part of the Patreon membership, right?
Yes. Yep.
The course? What?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's confusing.
Okay.
If you want to know more, go to creatureartteacher.com/live.
/live, yeah, sorry. Thanks, Nick. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing a gator. Drawing a big old gator. Drawing a big Florida gator.
Big old gator.
I drawing them.
Which kind of rhino is more aggressive, black rhino or white rhino?
They're both pretty aggressive. I don't know which one is more aggressive. I don't know that there is one that's more aggressive.
I guess you could say it's more a matter of which area of land it's on.
You could say that.
Because like elephants, African elephants, like one area of the Masai Mara, like it's literally the Masai Mara, I'm saying. They're not as aggressive, but then they're...
Well, it depends on their life experience with humans, right?
Yeah.
But rhinos tend to be aggressive just because they don't see very well, and so in their mind, anything's a predator.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of sketching him in. I love doing these images from above. Like I said, they're fun to do.
And to LD Howard, who was asking about what program you're working on, it is Photoshop.
I am working in Photoshop. I'm working on my Wacom Cintiq Pro Cintiq 32 or Cintiq Pro 32. I don't know. It's a Pro. It's a 32. It's a Wacom. It's a Cintiq. and it's awesome. It's awesome walking. So the key here is I want to get a lot of fluidity in the composition. I'm going to add a layer on top of that. I'm going to add a layer on top of that. There we go. So everything's going to be kind of juxtaposing each other. The flow of the gator is going to be juxtaposed by the flow of the tree limbs.
Do alligators come into your urban neighborhood near your garage?
Not in this neighborhood. We've got some bears that come in. When I was a kid, we had a few gators that would come in. I came home from school one day when I was in 5th grade, and I went up to the front door to go inside, and there was an alligator sitting at the front door, and so I went into the garage and grabbed a broom rake and hit him in the butt, and he got up and he walked away. And I went back inside and started my homework. Just one of the things you dealt with as a kid.
Do alligators and crocodiles live together? I think it.
No.
There is one spot in Florida where they do.
The Everglades. It's the only.
Yeah.
It's the only.
But
place-
not. But they're not. They sometimes
They
are
don't live
together.
They're not like.
But gators are more freshwater and brackish, and the crocodiles are saltwater.
Yeah, but they do tend to coexist quite a bit in the Everglades. But
Not really. Not as much as you think.
there's one very specific spot where they do. It's actually
I
a
don't
really.
think crocs.
It's actually a really tiny area where they coexist.
Exactly. It's down in Florida Bay, right?
Yep.
Are crocs saltwater?
Yes. American crocodiles are saltwater, and the only place we have American crocodiles are in extreme South Florida. I've lived here for 46 years, and I've never seen an American crocodile. I've always wanted to get down there and see one, but I've never seen one.
They're probably like way deep in the
No, they're out. There are a lot of places where you can see them. I've just never been to the places that you can see them.
Yeah, if you take a Everglades boat tour, sometimes you will see them down there.
So when I do the human part of this, I keep it really loose.
YouTube question, Aaron. What's your story idea for this illustration?
Well, the story is that he's out hunting. I'm calling it the Maneater. So you can, from the title, you can derive possibly that this croc or gator has been terrorizing his village, wherever he's from, and he's out to do something about it.
One man.
One man. One man.
I feel like you answered this one before in a previous stream, but which one of Mark Hent's characters are your favorite? Is he known as the Julia Roberts of?
He kind of is known as that. You know, Mark was always the princess guy. I think he did his best work with Jasmine.
Belle's pretty impressive,
Yeah, she is.
but Jasmine's pretty cool.
And Mark and I worked a lot together. I learned a lot from Mark.
He's still at the studio, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And I've actually got a fair amount of his drawings in my collection. Yeah, I was just going through. I don't know if I should have his arm up. Like holding onto the tree.
Hey, Aaron, I was just wondering.
Hey, how's it going?
This is a quick question. What animated projects have you worked on with Tim Hodge? Greetings from Romania.
Tim Hodge, all the good ones. But Tim Hodge, oh my gosh, we worked on. I'm trying to think of the first ones we worked on together. So I think Tim worked on. Did he work on Lion King?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, we worked on Lion King and then Pocahontas.
And you had him as a story artist on Brother Bear, right?
And then he was a story artist on Brother Bear. Um, Trail Mix Up, we worked on together.
Eric on Twitch is saying that Sanibel Island actually had a large croc that lived there for years.
I knew that. I heard about that. I remember that. And I lived in Naples.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in Naples, and but I never made it there to see that.
The skeleton is currently on display at the J.N. Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge.
Yep, I've been there.
And about Mark, Heather Shepard says that Mark is starting a 2D training program again at the studio.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, Heather.
Tells me they're working on something.
Yep, I know. I think they are. No. No, 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 no. Let's do it this way. There. That way it doesn't cover up the foot. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right.
Were you still in Disney when Tangled was being worked on before you left in 2010?
Yes. Tangled was still being made when I was there. I want that croc to feel bigger. I wonder if I got to make the human smaller and the croc bigger.
Are you going to do any? I know you're not anywhere to this detail, but are you going to do any sort of like blurred perspective or?
I'm not sure
I was
about.
thinking if you blurred the foreground a little bit, it would make.
Yeah, I'm just afraid of shrinking it up too much if I do that. But let's see. That's something we can do later.
Yeah. No, that would be towards the end. Hey, Aaron, I saw on your Instagram that your dad liked mustard and sugar sandwiches as a child.
It's true.
Is there a story there?
No, he was just disgusting. He didn't have. My father grew up without a lot of money. We all did, and so we were interviewing each other a few nights ago, talking about what was your favorite childhood sandwich, and it was 2 pieces of bread, mustard, and sugar.
Sugar.
I'm actually kind of tempted to try it.
I said, I just told him he's a liar. Because the other one he ate all the time was bologna and peanut butter.
Hey, Aaron, quick question from YouTube. When working on an anthropomorphic animal, do you first figure out the human pose before doing the animal, or do you already incorporate the animal design in the first sketch?
I come up with the design of the animal, the character first, and then make sure I understand it and then I get it into the
fun stuff.
Yeah, the pose, the sketch. So, I mean, I don't draw a human pose, if that's what you're asking. I don't draw a human pose and then put the character over it. I understand the character first as its own anthropomorphic entity.
Florida question. When
Sure.
you enter the state, can you still get free orange juice at the visitor center?
You know what? I have no idea. I
The
haven't
answer
done
to
that.
that is yes. Selena and I were just talking about it the other day because there's a sign. I can't remember where we were driving, and it was literally the visitor center, and it was free orange juice. So,
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
We should go there every day and start our own underground orange juice company.
So I don't like the perspective that I'm getting on here, so I'm just trying to push it a little bit. What I got to do is bring these eyes up this way a little. I want to see a little bit more of this part of the body. Just so we're not looking straight, because I feel like we're looking at two different perspectives. So I want to get the alligator, the croc, on its own.
Who's Pomeroy?
John Pomeroy.
Oh, John Pomeroy. Who's that?
He's an animator,
He's a famous animator.
well-known animator.
Yep. He was one of the ones that founded, left Disney with Don Bluth and founded, what's the name of Bluth Studio?
Blue Studio, yeah.
Yeah. And they did, Secret and M and Land Before Time.
And all that stuff.
Yep.
Oh, the French good.
As well as a lot of Disney characters as well.
What is your favorite kind of perspective drawing, or I should say, which one do you prefer?
Which,
What kind of
Any-
perspective?
to me, the perspective follows the illustration. It's whatever, it doesn't matter. I love illustration and painting. No matter, and all my illustrations incorporate 1-point perspective or 2-point perspective or 3-point perspective. So,
Even a 10-point perspective?
no, not really. No, not really.
Do you have any friends who worked on Road to El Dorado?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Who do you know that worked on that?
Road to El Dorado was DreamWorks, right? Or was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all my buddies. Press was on that. There's a lot of people on that I know. Can't remember right now off the top of my little noggin. But I knew a lot of people at DreamWorks at the time when that was being made. All right, so we've got a rough, I'm gonna put all these into a folder. I'm gonna knock the opacity back on that folder. I'm just gonna refine the drawing a little bit. A little bit. So we got small crowds today, I'm assuming.
No.
He's quiet.
Also working on typing answers to questions as well. So I got a bunch
Mark,
of
do you have any stories about the good old times at Disney that we don't know yet?
I mean, every day working at Disney was an absolute joy. I absolutely loved it. I can't say enough good about it. It was, you know, the best friends I have in the world I made there, other than you, Nick. And and you know, we were all young when we started, and did, you know, you got to remember when I started. This is 1989. You know, animation was just starting to make a resurgence. It, you know, really wasn't. It wasn't what it is today or what it was in the 90s. It was. No one thought about animation. Matter of fact, they were talking about shutting down animation at Disney. And so when we came back, we were there to make new movies, and most of us, because of, you know, the time in history that it was, we grew up on, you know, Bambi and Robin Hood and Cinderella, and we knew all those, just because of, you know, the time period that we grew up in. But other than that, there wasn't really any other, you know, there's a few hits here and there in the, you know, in the 70s they had the Rescuers Down Under, or the Rescuers, but it wasn't, you know, it was what it was. So there wasn't a lot of pressure on us other than, hey, this is a really cool job. And we just had a really great time. And in the process of doing that, we created some really great stuff.
YouTube question. Carlos wants to know, Aaron, I usually flip the drawing during the sketching phase. When do you think is better to do that? While sketching or while painting?
Both. Definitely, you got to do it while sketching to make sure that, you know, before you get to the painting stage, that you've got something that looks right.
Twitch question. Aaron, do you think you're ever going to do an animation challenge for your subscribers and maybe review the top 20 submissions?
That's very specific. That's a cool idea.
We'll
Yes,
only
I do
review
think-
the top 19, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
20 is just too far.
And I think it should be the top 4.
Yes, the answer is yes. That's a great idea, and we will do that at some point. I like
Have you
it.
been to Disney's Animal Kingdom at Disney World?
What's that?
Have you been to Disney's Animal Kingdom?
Oh, yes, many times.
We've been
Yes.
backstage behind the scenes at Disney Animal Kingdom.
Yep, many times.
I have not been there since before the Pandora, the Avatar Pandora was put in. So I still need to go back there. I haven't been to Disney in years.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, yeah.
What did you guys think of Encanto?
I loved it.
Loved it.
Loved it.
I still haven't seen it. I've heard great things.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
My daughter says it's her new favorite movie. She's like, I've literally watched it every day for a week.
Yeah, I really liked Bruno. Have you ever been to Sweden?
No, I've never been to Sweden. I would love to go to Sweden.
Man,
Did you just rip one?
no, it's my sample.
Claire asks, hey there, Aaron, question. Do you have a screen protector on your Cintiq? I didn't get one, and now I have deep grooves on my screen. It's distracting and annoying. Thanks.
I don't know how you get deep grooves. I don't know. Are you the Terminator? Do you draw like the Terminator? How do you get deep grooves in your screen even without a
That's
screen protector?
glass. I mean, you'd have to be.
Yeah, because I've been working on Cintiqs for years and years and years. I've had probably 5 or 6 different Cintiqs. I've never gotten a single scratch on any screen. And no, I don't use screen protectors. How the heck do you get grooves in your screen?
Claire asked that question. Let us know what model you're using.
I mean, this is a Pro
Not
32.
you, but I'm asking Claire. Let us know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd be curious to know.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, eh?
How's it going, eh? I just wondered how production on Snowbear's coming along, eh?
Well, you see, it's like this. We're getting to a point where I'm going to be able to go off and spend more time on it now that we're getting through some of these other courses.
We pretty much.
Do I hear a bunny rabbit? There's a bunny rabbit behind me. Oh, there he goes. He's running back out. I've got my door. We have a little outdoor bunny that lives on our porch, a pet bunny. His name's Robert. And I've got the door open to the porch. So he just came up to visit us in the office.
Everybody nicknames him Bun Bun.
Claire says, I think it was a bad nib. I have a 22 Cintiq HD. So there you go.
Huh.
Try the felt tip nibs, Claire.
Yeah, try that.
They work really nice, and they should certainly avoid that in the future. You might even be, I don't know if it's under warranty, you might even be able to talk to Wacom about that too, because I don't think you should get grooves in it.
Yeah, you should never get the grooves in it.
Yeah, there's a bunny in here.
You come over to see you too?
Yeah. Did we show the bunny on the stream?
Yeah, will he let you pick him up?
Freak out.
Hey, if you pick him up, just hold him snug.
Yeah.
He'll settle right down.
Oh,
You know,
he's like, I don't want to be picked up. How do you stylize an animal?
Oh, that's a broad question. There's there's thousands of ways. It's how you stylize anything. I mean, it's I don't know how to answer that question. It's taking design principles and applying them to the animal that it is that you're trying to design or stylize, and you start. I don't know. Am I answering it right? I don't. It's how you stylize anything. You gotta. It's taking the essence of what makes up that animal and breaking it down, and into kind of abstract representations of that, I guess, in a way of putting it.
Twitch question. When you watch an animated movie, are you looking at the story of the film or the animation?
I'm looking at the story. I'm pretty good about doing that. Unless the animation's really bad, the animation won't stand out to me. Now, good animation will really stand out, but as long as I'm not taken out of it because of bad animation, I can usually just roll right along with it.
been up for a while, but Dustin, did you watch the live action Cowboy Bebop? Yes, and I was. Honestly, I'm happy that they're not making a second season of that. But
No, come on, Dustin. Tell us how you really feel.
huh?
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, that's how I really feel. Oh, how I really feel? They shouldn't have made it in the first place. It was fine the way it was. Just leave it. Leave it alone. Do you know why Pixar and Disney CEO? Oh, I'm just gonna
You gonna let that one go?
let that.
That's funny. He's a man eater.
I was always wondering why Disney never made a high-budget 2D animation series on their streaming platform, something similar to Netflix shows like Castlevania.
I don't know. Probably not. They don't have the infrastructure to do it nowadays. I know that.
I mean, they've been doing CG animated series.
Yeah, but they don't. I mean, they don't have the content right now. I know that too. So
Who's that?
Disney.
Disney on their streaming platform, Disney Plus,
They're asking why they don't do higher budget.
2D animated series.
And I, to be honest, I don't know why, but I have a feeling they're going to.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think most of it's still falling under the television. You know, I don't, but once it goes, once they start rolling out features, I guess it would be high budget to do about $1,000. I don't think people understand it. It's a different budget for different applications. 30-minute show that's got to be cranked out 12 episodes. You don't typically get the same budget as you do a 2-hour feature film. Traditionally, that has to do with the return on investment, because if you're doing a feature film and you're selling tickets, it can make $1 billion versus something you release on television. It's not, you know, not the same sort of model. Aaron, have you ever done, this is a quick question, have you ever done animation as a present for one of your family members' birthday or special occasion? I'm asking because there was a viral video last year of a guy who proposed to his girlfriend in the theater by hiring animators to animate in the old Disney TV style, and the character throws in the ring from the screen.
Yeah, the guys made every guy that ever came behind him in the history moving forward look bad. I saw that and I was like, I just wanted to punch that guy.
But have you ever done any animation?
No, come on, man. You kidding me?
He's Italian.
I only do it if I get paid. Too much. It's too much work.
From Martin, can you tell us how you ship
Martin Berger?
Martin Berger?
Wow, I've never heard of that guy.
Can you tell us how you shipped the huge painting a couple weeks ago? I had to ship 2 larger paintings this week, and it was a bit of a challenge to find the right packaging material.
We made a giant crate.
We built a crate.
Yeah, I built a crate down in my shop.
Dad did most of the work. I just
Listen, how did you know I was Canadian, eh? I had no idea. I just took a wild guess here, but have you ever visited Pixar at Emeryville?
Oh yeah, many times. When I was working for Disney, I actually pitched to Steve Jobs up there.
Really?
I did.
Why do you not use gloves? Most digital artists use gloves.
No, not most. I don't think most do. A lot do. I can't stand the feel of a glove on my hand.
Yeah, I would say most don't.
I was going to say.
There are several that do.
Man, I like the thumbnail better than I like the one I'm drawing right now. It's driving me nuts, eh?
Aaron, could you draw a Viking and a wolf sometime?
No.
A Viking that's riding on top of a wolf?
How about a Viking wolf?
Okay. I got to get some negative space in here. I think that's part of it.
Did you make any friends with the Mothra Warriors when you were in Kenya?
Oh yeah, we always make friends there.
Absolutely. In fact, they're Facebook friends. Several of them.
Yeah. Yes, they have Facebook.
Yep.
That was more like the moment we landed. We're like, stay away from us. No, but they were really nice people there. Really, really neat people.
People.
But there were so many moments where we would get back from the safari, and I'd be at the bar with my laptop, and I'd be editing the photos, and there'd be like 2-3 Mothra Warriors looking over my shoulder with the biggest smiles on their faces.
Yeah, because
Oh, that looks amazing.
yeah, because they're digging the images that we're getting,
Oh yeah.
or that you were getting.
Also, I know in the past we've given you guys have given them drawings and stuff like that. I know,
Oh yeah.
You and Peter Hahn and Manny have all given some of them some drawings.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to get for the next trip is like a tiny little like one of those little
printer?
miniature printers, portable printers.
Yeah.
And I make the photo and just print out the little photos.
There.
Has a song ever inspired an art piece of yours? And if so, what song?
Well, there was a song that inspired Brother Bear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon.
That started as a father and son story and
Yep.
evolved into a brother story.
When you coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. That one. Because it was about a father who doesn't spend enough time with his son, and his son grows up basically to be just like him. And he sees that as a bad thing. And that's basically what the early version of Brother Bear was based on.
Switch question. Seeing you apply depth of field to some of your finished paintings, I'm curious how you would do that traditionally, or even in Photoshop, but without effects if you were just using a brush.
Oh, you got to plan ahead, and you just literally put it down as something blurred. I do that traditionally. You just got to you put it in as lost edges. All right, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to start adding some color. Color.
From Cordos and Aaron, what's your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur.
Favorite dinosaur.
I don't know. I love Triceratops.
You chose. Mine was always the Stegosaurus.
Yeah. Stegosaurus is like 120 million years before Triceratops or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Triceratops and Stegosaurus is further apart than we are from I'm sorry. Tyrannosaurus
You okay?
and Tyrannosaurus and Stegosaurus are further apart than Tyrannosaurus and us. Suppose I think that's right.
Yeah, I believe that is true. Someone's saying maybe the thing you're not liking about the gator is the arm looks a little too long.
No, you're absolutely wrong. No.
You're wrong, I'm right.
Actually, the arm is right. It's the neck and everything is too short. I got his head and everything too squat.
Too squished.
Yeah, I got to pull that head out more.
Ooh. Zombie's saying, hey Aaron, what if the water was bioluminescent? That might...
Yeah, what if you just be quiet and just watch?
I'll just sit down and shut.
Actually, it would be cool. But I would have to do that as a nighttime painting, wouldn't I? And
Yeah.
Man, do you know how hard it is to paint bioluminescent? That's hard.
And also making sure that the hunter doesn't get too lost in the dark in the image.
I have to move the whole crock here for a second here.
Is tracing considered art? Muhammad Ali?
I don't. Depends on how you look at it. I don't know. You can make art out of anything. You can make art out of anything.
Nathan on YouTube wants to know, Dustin, do you sell your animal reference photos?
I do sell reference photos. In fact, you can find them on creatureartteacher.com. I got some nice Africa wildlife packs. That's the most recent one from last year. And also from earlier that you also have... actually, I don't have that slide anymore.
You okay? You all right?
There's also Montana photos on Creature Art Teacher. There's also Florida wildlife on there as well. That includes gators. There's Florida gators in the Florida pack, and there are crocodiles in the Africa pack.
I posted a link to all the photo packs in the comments.
Thank you very much, Nick. Much appreciated. Much obliged.
For those of us people that might have joined late, I want to let people know we've got two announcements. First of all, we've got a new course from Tim Hodge that comes out tomorrow. It's on 50% off pre-order sale right now if you go to creatureartteacher.com. It covers flip books, stop motion, zoetropes, phonetic mystoscopes, and praxinoscopes,
Pronunciation.
stethoscopes, all the scopes,
Sniper scopes.
all the scopes.
Hunter scopes.
But it's a puppet animation, stop motion. It's super fun class. It's short. It's free. It's a good one for basically kids at heart, kids of all ages and younger learners especially. But really, it's a lot of fun for anything. It's a fun class. And then the big announcement is February 26th. We have our next live event. We announced it today. It's our next online live workshop with Aaron. It's going to be 5 to 6 hours of figure drawing, costume figure drawing, with mixed media, live models. You're going to be able to tune in, draw right alongside Aaron, ask questions. He's going to give you tips and feedback and kind of explain what he's thinking about. Go through charcoal drawing, pencil drawing. He's going to go to watercolor. And you can learn more about that by going to featureartteacher.com/live. And those spots are limited, so sign up soon. So our last several are sold out.
Were there any Disney mermaids that came before Ariel and Little Mermaid?
Well, there's mermaids and Peter Pan.
Yeah. Are there also some mermaids in Fantasia?
I
I could be
don't know.
Was Flash technically a Disney mermaid?
Yes, it was Touchstone.
wrong. With Sarah Hannah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Touchstone, right?
Yeah,
That's
Touchstone.
Touchstone's Disney.
Was Touchstone with Disney back then?
Yeah.
Touchstone was always Disney.
And that came out before Little Mermaid, didn't it? That was
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that was 86, right?
84.
84. Yeah, 84.
Yeah, that was Touchstone.
Yeah, as far as 2D mermaids go, then yeah, I think Peter Pan was the early one.
I don't think there are any. I think it was big.
Wait, you said Fantasia?
Yeah, I don't think it's any.
No,
I think the nymphs is the water nymphs.
Yeah, I think it's just mainly might be mixing it up with centaurs from the from Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Fantasia. Centaurs. Somebody says that Touchstone was basically invented so that adult content didn't have the Disney name on
That's right.
it.
That's true.
Now it makes sense.
Which is why they didn't know what the heck to do with Nightmare Before Christmas, so they originally released it as a Touchstone film.
I wonder how they got the name of that company, Touchstone. I wonder if somebody just touched this stone and went, "That's it, Touchstone."
Maybe.
Yeah, we're really running out of things to talk about in the stream.
It's going to turn to, "Hey man, how was your week? It was good. Oh, okay." And that's it.
Aaron, what's your favorite 3D Disney movie? YouTube question.
3D. First of all, I can't stand 3D. I'm sorry for those folks that do. I went and saw.
They don't mean that type of 3D, they mean CG.
Oh, CG. Oh, sorry. Probably well, it's Pixar, but I like Incredibles.
Good choice.
I went and saw not Peter,
I like
Peter
Disney.
Parker. Went and saw Spider-Man the other night, the new Spider-Man, and I bought.
Don't spoil it, I haven't seen it.
No, I'm not going to. I'm just saying I bought 3D tickets by accident.
Uh-huh.
Man, I hate that.
See, I like the 3D.
And Dustin, I'm sorry. I know you worked in 3D, and I love you, and I think the work you did was great. But the problem I have with 3D, especially bad 3D, well, first of all, 3D knocks the lights down on any film. It's never as bright as what it's intended to be.
Well, it's not just the fact that the lights go down. Is that they don't adjust the light at all, and so you're wearing dimmer light.
Exactly, and
With proper projection, they're actually supposed to adjust for that.
they didn't when I was there, and it drove me nuts. Eh?
Aladdin. Yeah. But yeah, what'd you think of the movie though?
Movie's great,
Besides it-
but I don't want to spoil it.
Right. We can talk about when it makes sense that year.
When we're
Quick
offline.
question. Wouldn't it be better to start painting the crocodile and then paint the water on top of him? I'm just trying to understand the process.
Yep, but I'm painting the bottom right now, basically, is what I'm thinking of.
You're painting underneath the crocodile.
Yep, painting underneath the croc. And I'm just adding little textures here and there. I'm going to go back in. We're going to be adding all kinds of textures coming up. The croc, I'm going to hit the croc here pretty quick here.
Yeah, somebody says that his top 3 Pixar choices are Incredibles, Up, and Ratatouille. I would say that mine would be Bugs Life, Incredibles, and Toy Story.
Tyler, those are all Pixar.
Yeah, Pixar.
Yeah. Tyler wants to know, have you ever thought about drawing reptiles as mammals?
No.
You actually did a lion croc hybrid.
We did. We did that a few weeks ago, yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
I wonder what it would look like to see a crocodile
Yeah.
with fur.
Some of the early land mammals were mammal-like reptiles.
If you worked on Hunchback of Notre Dame, what character would you have animated?
I would have liked to have done Quasimodo. Quasimodo.
Open your mind.
All right, so let's do croc, yeah.
And from Martin, how do you like the movie Life of Pi?
I love that movie.
I never watched it.
I started reading the book and I got really annoyed when I read the author's biography. As I was reading the book, I switched to the back of the book and read his biography, and it came off as very pompous, and it just turned me off to reading the rest of the book. And so I never got through it. And then I came back a few years later, and when they were making the movie, I decided I wanted to see the movie, or I wanted to finish the book beforehand. So I got it on tape and did this giant oil painting. And while I was doing the oil painting, I listened to the tape and liked it. I liked it a lot. And it's one of the few times where I've watched the film and liked it as much as the book.
What made you decide to read the biography in the back? Were you just
I was just curious. I liked what the guy was saying, but then after I read the way he talked about himself, I was like, gosh, this guy's kind of a jerk. And I'm sure it was, it was me, my fault, but yeah, I got turned off by it, and it's like, nah.
You felt all of himself, my God.
I mean, that's not usually written by the author anyway. That's written by the publishing company.
Yeah. But it was all written first person, so I was like, nah, yeah, okay. All right, so now I want to get some texture. We gonna get some texture in here, boy.
Did any Brother Bear scenes make you cry?
I was one of the writers of the movie, so it's hard to, when you're writing it, you're not necessarily, I get emotional when we're writing it. When the section where Kenai is having to tell Coda about his mom, and we cut to Phil singing, that was all, I boarded that whole section and worked all that out. I had a very specific idea of how I wanted that played in the movie. Because we tried to do it where he just confesses to him, and it was so brutal that we decided to kind of step away and do it in song. and make it a little bit more palatable for the audience.
I killed your mom.
I killed your mom. Make me some coffee.
Hey guys, Jonathan asks on YouTube, question about your process. Do you build stories and that inspires some characters, or is it vice versa?
Yep. and I'm being a smart Alec, but it really, we do both. You jump back and forth a lot of times. Usually we'll start with an idea for a story, and the characters will emerge out of that. Then you start developing the characters, and as the characters evolve, that'll inform story. So that'll change story, and you just keep going back and forth.
Do you like listening to movie soundtracks all?
Yes.
What's your favorite?
Somewhat. Braveheart,
Good one.
Last of the Mohicans.
YouTube, what kind of brush is that you're using right now?
These are all custom brushes that I've created. The one I was using for the water was one of my wet media brushes. The one I was just creating to put texture on the crocodile is I grabbed texture from a photograph of a rock that I had done, and I made a brush out of that, so it creates kind of this rough texture. But I make them up. And actually, I'm going to make.
I'll post a link to the wet media brushes.
Yeah, and I'll make a oh shoot, I'll make a brush here in a little bit, and I'll show you guys the way I do it. All right, that.
I think one of my favorite soundtracks I remember listening to a lot when doing my homework when we lived in Vermont was Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
It's fantastic.
Hey.
Tyler wants to know, would you ever consider just doing an art critique day once a month where people submit artwork and you do a live stream for 1 to 2 hours viewing submissions?
That's something that we've considered. Yeah.
Hey, Justin, just a reminder when he's down in the lower left, he's not anymore. Don't forget to hide him to the lower left.
Gulp chat.
Or Aaron's hands.
Yeah. So I'm just creating texture on this guy, and then the true form will come out when we start adding light and shadow. Right now I'm just creating the layers. So the next layer is going to be above him, will be the local color of the branches, which I'm just going to do kind of a dark brown to start with, and then we'll go from there.
YouTube comment.
Whoa! Go ahead, sorry.
YouTube comment, how you drove from West Virginia. I really appreciate you signing my book. I just love having it in my studio, and thank you so much for sharing your life with us.
Hey, thank you for saying so.
Was Pocahontas supposed to be a big hit than say Lion King, which made 4 million?
Which made 4 million?
No,
Made 400 million.
made 400 million.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's an ongoing thing. Everyone thought, Pocahontas was the A movie and Lion King was the B movie, and there was a little bit of the studio never thought of it that way. I mean, when you look at the way the two films were split up, it had just as each film had just as many A-listers as far as animators go as we did, B animators. I was lucky enough to work on both. I really enjoyed it. But Pocahontas, there's a lot of, because Glenn Keane was on Pocahontas. Glenn Keane didn't work on Lion King. And so there's a lot of people thinking, okay, well, if Glenn's not on that, then it must be the B movie, and I don't want to work on that movie. And so a lot of people jumped ship because they to go work on Pocahontas. I shouldn't say a lot of people, a few people did. And a lot of times those are just people that are never happy anyway. But but I stuck with it. You know, I was given the role to do Nala, young Nala, and I had a ball. I loved working on that movie.
A lot of people don't realize you did quite a bit of Pocahontas as well, right?
Yeah, yep. After I finished with The Lion King, I jumped over to Pocahontas to help out Glenn and animated the character Pocahontas.
If you could animate any book or film you have watched that's non-animation, so live action film, but changed people to animal characters, which would it be?
Wow. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd have to think about that. That's a toughie, eh?
That there's your duffy there, buddy.
There's plenty of films that are stories I would love to just create and into animated films. I still want to do, I think it, and I'm going to put it out there, so hopefully someone will do it. I think telling the Wizard of Oz from the point of view of one of the flying monkeys would be an awesome story. I want to do that. Or a sub story within that world during the same time, but from the point of view of one of the flying monkeys. I've kind of got some ideas in my head.
YouTube comment. I've been binge watching The Simpsons lately, and I realized that Brad Bird actually worked on that show quite a bit.
Oh, Brad Bird worked on it a lot. Yep.
I didn't actually not know that.
Yeah, he was working on Simpsons before he went over to Disney or over Pixar. Or maybe it was before he went over to Warner Brothers. Can't remember. Or may have gone back and forth. He was working because he was at Warner Brothers when he did Iron Giant.
Right. Did you ever see their Camelot movie? I never saw it.
Yes.
For Camelot?
Yeah. And Max Howard was one of the producers on it. My original boss at Disney. So I'm just laying in literally just flat color just to get a sense of what it is we're looking at here. And then we go in and we start adding detail and texture and all kinds of stuff.
Actually, that whole turning a live action into animal animated series or movie, I just immediately started thinking the Dick Van Dyke Show. Because I've been watching. I finally got into it a few days ago. I've just been absolutely loving it.
Did you see the Being the Ricardos movie, Aaron?
No.
I liked it. I watched it the other night.
Did you?
They opened that movie and I forgot this. I used to watch I Love Lucy all the time.
Yeah.
It used to be on constantly. In fact, it's still, I believe that show still, I believe this is still active. It's never left television since it came out. It's somewhere playing 24 hours a day, 7 days around the world. But they were talking, the opening part of that movie is they talk about, people don't understand, like now, like today's day and age,
Yeah.
big show, big hit show like Walking Dead or something like that might get 10 million, maybe 15 million, like a crazy episode of it or something, or
Yeah.
Game of Thrones or something like that. I Love Lucy was pulling 65 million viewers a week.
Really?
Yep.
Back then?
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, it was Super Bowl numbers every week.
Wow.
Now, granted, there was a lot less options.
Yeah.
Like they actually talk about it was such a big hit. I guess department stores used to do this thing where Monday nights used to be like late night shopping hours or whatever, and they had to change it to another night of the week because so many people stayed in to watch. But it's a good movie. I liked it. It's worth a watch.
When working on Pocahontas, do you remember Gilda Taglinus? Gilda Taglinus? Is that how you pronounce it?
Been working on what?
When you worked on Pocahontas? You remember
What's the name?
INNIS? Taglinus?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, sorry.
It says that she was a good friend of his, Michael talking. It says that Don Hahn told him that she passed away.
She might have been in the California studio.
Oh, yeah, the name is spelt weird. Yes, I did know she was a character designer.
Oh.
Aaron, what's the scariest animated movie you've ever seen? Mine was Brave Little Toaster.
Really?
I don't know. I've never thought of animated films as being scary, so I can't think of a scary
there's
one.
some scary moments in animated films if you're at the right age.
Yeah, I think Secret of Nim has some scary ones in there.
The hyenas can be kind of scary.
Yeah, true. There's truth. There's truth in that statement.
I remember what made me jump at one time was I know it's not 2D animated, but it was Beowulf. And I remember it was my first my first experience seeing a movie in 3D. And when Grendel just pops right into the screen, like right in your face, I jumped out of my chair a little bit. But as far as like early childhood, didn't I get freaked out a lot by in Fern Gully, the smoke.
Yeah, at Nexus or whatever it's called.
Was it Nexus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I really liked his song. It's just I think when he becomes like the final form demon in the very end, that like scared the crap out of me. Have you watched Scene 2?
No, I haven't yet. I want to see it.
I didn't even know it's out.
You can rent it for like $25.
It's in
on,
yeah.
It's on HBO or
It's just whatever. I can't. It's not. It's renting wherever, like Prime, Amazon. Gosh, I couldn't get it out.
Don't forget to use your words. Yeah, I just right before we started the stream, I saw that Ghostbusters Afterlife was available to buy on YouTube, so immediately bought that and watched to watch later. But I have not watched it yet.
Well, at the ending,
At the ending, everybody died.
Still just laying in texture.
what's a habit you should avoid when you start with digital art?
I would say try not to do everything on one layer. That's one of the great benefits of digital art is being able to, break up your layers and do different things on different layers. And so once I learned that, I thought it was fantastic.
I would also say don't get too caught up in the like effects bells and whistles.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
Don't try to solve everything with a special brush.
yeah, like it's still about fundamentally good draftsmanship first,
Yep.
and then you use those effects to improve a good drawing, not to save it bad.
Yep, you nailed it right on the head. Digital art is not there so that you can, so to make bad drawing good. It's a bad drawing. It's still going to be a bad drawing. So
the way I said it pretty much covers it.
yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you.
Aaron, is this illustration a way for you to let us know that you secretly want to be Tarzan?
Oh man, I used to go out and swim, and literally I would go out in the middle of a summer storm and swim the canals and pretend I was Tarzan.
Oh yeah, water.
Tarzan was my biggest hero as a kid. Yeah, just like that.
And
They filmed those movies around here.
Silver Springs.
Creature from the Black Lagoon in Florida.
Yep.
what movie overall like doesn't have to be animated scared you as a kid?
Gargoyles, 1973, made for television, CBS. Yep.
Did you say you tried to go back and watch it?
Yeah, it's the worst. It's so campy. When I was a kid, oh my God,
It's terrifying.
it terrified me.
And apparently, when I was a kid, it wasn't even a movie that scared me at all.
It was a film strip. It was the film strip guy at AMC theaters or whatever who had the film strip character.
I remember that guy.
Man, you used to get so scared.
Really?
You'd like tuck right into my. You'd like squeeze into my arms. You were so
I was
scared.
So scared of him. 'Cause I remember,
You
like,
cover your eyes and you
later-
cover your ears.
Well, yeah, I remember it was. I would cover my ears because it would be so loud. But I think wasn't it like years later I was fine with the film strip guy, but
I don't know.
He stopped noticing you after the age of 5.
eh.
Like all that.
And Sheila Guerrero says Zorro is why I loved fencing in high school. I was scary good too.
Fencing.
Fencing. I remember watching a few episodes of the classic Zorro show on watching the late night Disney where they show like the real classic Disney shows.
Yeah.
Good night.
Nick, 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 night.
Nick. Birch. Castro says that it's the 60th anniversary of James Bond this year. And which Bond movie scene would you sketch on Photoshop for which actor?
I don't know. I'm a Bond fan, but I wouldn't say I'm so much of a fan that I could think of a shot that I would draw.
Brian says that the Gargoyles 1972 movie is actually free on YouTube.
Oh.
Scared the heck out of me. I laid there on the couch, my head all buried, wrapped up in the blanket. And then I remember laying there after the movie finished up, and back then TV went off the air, and it would just be like this Indian, a Native American, and then a weird pattern on the screen, and it would be the national anthem, and then it would just go to static. And I would lay there too afraid to get up to turn the TV off and just lay there staring at the TV as it was just going.
Which, I always thought it was really funny that they do the national anthem right before they sign off. Because I'm like, who sings the national anthem before bed? Like,
Yeah, well,
it's just a weird thing.
the ultra patriotic, yeah.
It's just funny, like, don't forget, kids, we're going to go ahead and we're going to brush our teeth, say our prayers, tuck you in, do the national anthem. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time when all that, it was so weird. Back then it was, it's like if you're up late and it was 11:30, you couldn't watch TV because it went off the air. So we'd go out and vandalize stuff instead.
Part of that's because there wasn't as much.
There was no content, and people didn't care about television the
Not
way.
as much content. Obviously, in the early days of television, and before you were watching it, it was also all live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When you worked on the Lion King, did you have any meetings with the story artists?
I wouldn't. No, not really, because I was more of a mid level, wasn't low, but I was more of a mid level. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, you were supervising animators.
Yeah. So, but it was a minor character. So I was more of a mid level animator.
But you could make character suggestions, right?
Oh yeah.
You felt your character should be doing.
Yeah.
You could be a diva and be like, my character is never.
Yeah.
My character would never do such a thing. When you finish a digital illustration, do you keep your Photoshop file? I'm finding I'm eating up a lot of storage, but never go back to old illustrations. So, is it wise to just keep the JPEGs?
No, put all your stuff on an external storage. I keep everything. We just keep everything. I don't keep anything on my computer local. I keep it all external. We keep for us, because we do so much work. We have an account, pretty much an endless account with Dropbox.
Yeah, we also have tons and tons of local, like, external hard drives.
Yeah, I've got an external drive attached to my machine. That's how much is it?
I think you're at 20 terabytes.
Yeah, it's 20 terabytes. So it'd be years for me to fill that up. I was going to try to do this with a brush. I'm not sure if I can, but let's try it. So we've got this going so far, which is coming out kind of cool. I'm digging it. I think we're going to have a cool illustration when all is said and done. But let's see here real quick. Let's try making a brush for the scales.
If they were animals, Aaron would be a bear, and Manny would be a cougar. I guess Dustin would be Sasquatch. What would Nick be?
Nick would be
Invisible.
invisible.
Oh, what would Nick be? That's a good question.
Whatever it is, it would be awesome.
A platypus. A lot better than
Actually, you know what? I'm going to try right off the bat. I'm just going to try doing this.
Quick question: have you ever done any VFX or background animation?
Very little. Oh.
from Zoji, to Dustin or Nick, the technical question. What do you suggest for external storage that also reads quickly? I have 4 terabytes, but communicates too slowly with the computer.
Well, that's a computer issue.
Well, it depends on your. It can also be the drive for sure.
It's a computer issue.
Dustin's external drive, which is yours is a SanDisk Extreme, right?
Yeah, it is a pricey drive, but
It's fast.
it's super fast. It's like 850 megabytes a second,
Yeah.
up and down speed. And it's 4 terabytes, but it's I think the overall price for like anywhere around $700 to $800, but you get a really good bang for your buck for it.
Easy.
But-
This is a family show, man.
Just some form of solid state drives work a lot faster than hard disk drive externals. So definitely recommend that, and especially if they use a USB-C cable, because do I ever cut you off during your half-hour explanations of stories?
Yeah, but it's called the Art of Aaron Blaise.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
This might be a technical question, but still, how much is a typical file size of one of your paintings end up being?
7.
7. Usually about between 800 megs to a terabyte. I mean a gig.
I mean, sometimes.
Yeah. Lately, because I've been doing them in 18 by 24,
Yeah, they have been bigger.
so they tend to be a little bit bigger. I think I'm biting off more than I can chew on this one, but I want to see what happens anyway. For this, it'd be kind of cool.
Do you have one illustration you've done that you're particularly proud of?
Yes, only one. No, no, not really. I mean, I don't think of my illustrations that, I mean, I've got illustrations that I like. I've got a lot of them that I like. But when you get really prolific and you do a lot, you don't think of it that way. I think it's more about getting into a rhythm and finding a good rhythm. All right, I'm going to see if I can turn this into a brush. So let's do this. I'm going to turn this off, Let's go to Edit, Define Brush Preset. We're going to go OK. I'm going to turn this back on. Turn that off. We're going to go up here. We're going to go to Brush Shape. I'm going to turn it. Then I'm going to go to Shape Dynamics. I'm going to go Direction. Go to back brush to brush tip shape. Look at that. I just created the back of a crocodile.
Wow.
All in one swoop.
Does Kenya or Tanzania?
Look at that. I love it. There we go. Or it's a tire. So, see, this is what you do when you get lazy. I was just telling everyone not to do this. Don't solve your problems with a brush.
As you solve your problem with the brush.
Yeah.
Does Kenya or Tanzania have more poaching for elephants and rhinos, etc.?
I think Tanzania does, but I'm not sure. So here, I'm going to put a layer on top. Oops. I'm going to separate these a little bit more. Make it a little bigger.
People are really digging that brush. Like, that's crazy.
Look at that. Let me do it again. See, now all I need to do is go in and erase.
Yeah.
Boom.
Bang, bang, boom.
Bang, 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 boom. Actually, I didn't quite get it right. I gotta do it one more time. And this is just going to serve. Oh, doggone it. Come on.
Dang it.
This is just going to serve as a base, and then I can draw over the top of it. But it gets 80% of what I need drawn in there. Need to press down a little harder. I think that works. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good. I don't know if there's a way you can do it in Photoshop. There probably is. In Illustrator, you can actually draw a path.
Yeah.
Snap the thing to the path.
Oh, yeah. See, now I can go in and hit some darker darks, and but this at least gives me like a pattern to follow. And I just saved a bunch of time. I saved 15 minutes on my car insurance. All right, so.
Kelsey Grammer was the original voice of the Echo.
Was he now?
Which of the big cats do you like the most?
I love lions. I like yeah, because I like the sociability of them. I like how social they are. So here I'm doubling up. So now that I've got this kind of base in here, I can do whatever I want. And I'm just putting the darks in right now. I haven't yet begun to put in the lights yet. Light.
Quick question. Any animator versus animator fist fight that you've witnessed? Any at the workplace? Do Disney artists fight better than Pixar artists?
No, there was one artist that I got clocked right in the face when the studio in Florida first went under. A buddy of mine was pretty upset about it, and he was blaming me because I didn't work hard enough to save the studio or whatever, and it was just weird. And there was some drinking involved, and I said, hey, if it makes you feel any better, just hit me in the face. Man, he wasted no time, man. He clocked me good. I mean, just bam. And it spun me around, and I bent over. I didn't hit the ground. And everybody in the group just stopped and went, oh, my God. They didn't know what was going to happen. And I said, you feel better? I said, come on, let's go play some darts. And we played some darts, and that was that. But that's the only time I can think of that there was any kind of, there was high tension because everybody had lost their job, and it was rough.
Someone said, just throw a bevel and gloss on that brush and you're done.
Yeah, it's cool what you can, when it comes to repeating shapes and things like that. There's a lot you can do if you just sit down and think about it in Photoshop. That's why I love making brushes. I love being presented with a problem, and how do you solve that by, organic repeating shapes like plants, things like that are fun to figure out with brushes in Photoshop to figure those out. Now, eventually, I'm going to have to get this to feel like it's all underwater too. The part of the gator, not the whole gator or croc.
For someone that's working on an animation project for their portfolio, what 3 tips can you give me?
Make sure you have plenty of work in there where your characters are interacting with one another. An exchange of ideas are happening. Make sure you show your characters thinking, not just doing. Um, put only your best work in there. Don't put everything in there. And when you say you're putting together a reel, I'm assuming you're putting together a reel for.
Let's say a project, it might be something they're specifically doing for their portfolio.
Well, I'm wondering if they're doing it for work, to get a job,
Or to get into school.
or to get into school. Yeah, that's because you know getting into school is going to be a little bit more forgiving than if you're trying to do it to get a job. Whoops. Oh, yes, 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 yes. This is cool. We got to get his shadow in there too to give it some real depth. I'm going to take this. Watch this. Put it down here, maybe. Let's see. Is that where we want it? That feels pretty good right there. Oh, there we'll do this. Unlock it. Give it a little bit of blur. And maybe not quite as opaque. That's feeling pretty good. Yeah, that helps with the composition. We got to bump up these lights now. So I'm going to do overlay. So I've got a new layer on top now, and I've got it set to overlay, so it's actually giving me some lighter colors and giving me the ability to create highlights.
Very good, babe. What do you have planned for Snow Bear this year? Can you tell us something about the process you have in mind to get it done?
Yeah, well, I'm still actively trying to get it all boarded to the degree that I want it. I'm overboarding it a little bit because I want to be able to use it for screenings. So I'm doing a little bit more boarding on it than I need to. But it'll be really tight. So that's the goal there. And then from there, I'm just going to go ahead and part of the boarding process, because I have very specific ideas in my head about staging and look. I'm actually kind of workbooking it, meaning figuring out the stage direction, the camera, and all that, and boarding it all at the same time. Usually that's two different processes, but because I have it in my head, I'm just kind of doing it all at once. And so there's that. And then from there I'll just start animating, and then we're going to decide down the road how far we want to take the cleanup. I'd like to keep it rough because I'd like to animate the whole thing myself, and I tend to animate pretty cleanly. So I'd like to try to keep it rough, and then we'll color the rough drawings.
That's rough.
Yeah. So I'm just going through now and adding the highlights on areas like the top of these scales. I'll start giving him a little bit more depth.
Quick question. I remember you mentioned in one of your videos you told I just realized my mic's been off for like the last 30 minutes. Sorry about that, everybody.
No one said anything?
I don't know. Nobody
Oh.
said anything in the comments. I remember you mentioned in one of your videos that you told a little story about how you liked going outside as a kid to draw nature, and I was wondering, did you always draw what you would call a scene, or was that something that came with time as your hobby evolved into a profession?
Yeah, when I that grew with time. When I initially started going out, I would just draw, a bird or a whatever. Scenes didn't come until later, if that makes sense.
No, it makes no sense. Aaron, is there an animal you are afraid of?
Polar bears. I would be deathly afraid of polar bears. What the heck? What happened here? Something's not right here. Oh, it's that one.
It's not wrong.
That's not right.
Why would you be afraid of polar bears?
Hold on. Because polar bears, in the wild, will devour you. They will hunt you down and they will devour you.
Devour.
Yeah, they have no fear of humans.
No. If I saw a polar bear in the wild, I would be petrified.
What's the coolest animal fact you know?
Oh, that's a good question. The coolest animal fact I know. Man, I know a lot of little worthless facts. Did you know that? Well, you know this one because I'm telling you, there's no blue pigment in any bird feather. Any bird feather you can think of, including like a
Blue jay.
like a blue jay or a peacock. There is no such thing as blue pigment. All of that is refracted light, and so you're just getting the light's being refracted, and you're only getting the blue light reflected back, and so that's how you're getting blue. Now, granted, that's how pigment works too, but in this case, it has nothing to do with pigment. Um, did you know armadillos always have 4 babies, and all 4 babies are always the same sex?
Oh. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Seagal, because I'm confused. How did you pick the right color that fast?
Experience.
Birds.
Experience.
Chad
Well-
asks on YouTube, is doing gesture drawing exercises, ergo 1 minute poses, 2 minute poses, etc., a good way to learn drawing the human form, or is there a more efficient way to study?
That is the most efficient way to do it, I think,
Speaking of which,
because you're looking at the form. It's a great way to segue into February 26th is our next live event that we're going to be doing here at creatureartteacher.com. Go on over to creatureartteacher.com/live and you can get more information. But I'm going to be teaching a full day on costumed figure drawing. And I'm going to take you through my process and the way I do it. We're going to talk about anatomy, talk about fabric, and we're going to talk about facial features, all kinds of stuff, hair, all the stuff that's kind of always kind of bogged you down. And we're going to have a good time doing it.
this full day of live model drawing should be a lot of fun.
It's going to be all live models, but that doesn't mean, and I'm going to be working traditionally, but that doesn't mean you have to work traditionally. So I want to make that clear. If you want to use an iPad Pro and knock yourself out, have fun with doing that. I'm going to be working on traditional materials and charcoal and possibly some watercolor. We're gonna have a great time.
Someone's asking, have you ever drawn a pink fairy armadillo?
No, I can't say that I have, not
Sure.
specifically.
I'm looking at a picture of them now. They're crazy looking. They're the smallest species of armadillo. They fit in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, I think they're South American.
Argentina, yeah, yep. It doesn't even look like an armadillo to me.
Yeah, I know they're weird looking.
It looks like somebody took a hedgehog and just threw a coat of armor on its back.
Do you base your color picking based off of warm light and cool shadows?
Yes,
So a warm light source produces a cooler color shadow?
yes. Basically, I mean that's somewhat of an oversimplification, but yes, because you're also going to be considering reflected light and a lot of other factors. So now I'm going to do another layer on top. I'm going to set that to overlay. And I can hit some, am I doing that? Yeah. I'm going to set that to overlay. And I can hit some of these even brighter, just for little accents. And then I'll work, then I'm going to work opaque with a normal layer over the top. There we go.
Go.
There we go.
There. Go.
See, I like working in blend modes for the first few layers, because it kind of builds things up, almost like you're glazing, so you can see through, and it just gives everything a bit more texture and a bit more life. There we go. It's taking a bit more time than I expected, but don't they always?
Yeah. Not always, but there's been quite a few that it had taken some time.
I gotta get working on our human dude. There, bring those down like that. I can use that a little bit better. Let's see here. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go through here. I'm gonna lock that. I'm just gonna throw some.
What animation tips would you give an animator that's only been animated for a year and a half?
Just stick to it. Make sure you're doing as many. Think about your characters when they're acting. Have them thinking. You want them thinking. You don't want them just doing stuff. I'm always talking about that, and what I mean about that, so many people when they get in there and they're animated, they're working so hard about how are they going to move this character the right way, rather than thinking about what is the character doing, and let that whatever it is they're doing dictate how they move. And it sounds like an obvious way of, I'm speaking obvious things, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't really think of it that way. And um and what it'll do is it'll so many people end up moving their characters just for the sake of moving them. But when you think about, okay, well, what is my character thinking, and let that kind of drive what they're doing, then all of a sudden you'll find that the character might not move at all. And you won't you end up with a lot less over animation. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Get rid of that.
If you have a night scene and the moonlight is a cool blue, what colors would you use for shadows? More blue or purple?
Yeah, I'd go even deeper blue.
Can you have a warm shadow?
Sometimes, but it's always relative to something else. The shadow will, if you have other areas that are lit, the shadow will always be cooler. Even if you're using cool light, the shadow will be even cooler than the light.
Cooler.
Cooler. Actually, let me do this real quick.
I have questions.
I'm losing my voice.
Losing your voice?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
That's funny. Someone says those figure drawing illustrations in the promo image look like Kid Rock. That's his Jolt.
I know. He'll like that.
Do you prefer Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Coca-Cola.
Do you ever get stopped on the street by a fan?
Very, 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 very rarely.
Although it happened in Home Depot the other day, didn't it?
It did, yes.
I still remember the one in Montana when we were in Yellowstone. We were taking photos of the bears and
Oh yeah, that was cool.
walked up to the vehicle.
Yeah, that's right.
Where does the now joke come from? It's a Family Guy reference. I can't remember the exact details. I just know it's something.
It's a character. It's the neighbor. Oh no. It's his name. The hippie guy.
I don't think it's a hippie guy.
Yeah, it is.
What are some cool resources that you got to utilize while you were working at Disney?
You know, and every time we would start a new movie, and we had new characters, especially if they were animal characters, they would bring those animals right into the studio. So in Lion King, they brought lions right into the studio. I thought that was awesome.
Getting access to the ARL would probably be
The access to the ARL was really cool. And that's the Animation Research Library. And basically what that was is all the animation that's ever been done over the years is all stored in this area. And so if I wanted to go and look at some Bambi animation, I could go and do that. And often I did. It was very cool.
When you're in Safari, how do you stand your ground to a line? Did you play dead or make yourself big as possible?
You're not out there to threaten lions. So we're not out there. We're not putting ourselves in that position. We're just sitting in a Land Rover.
yeah, you're in a vehicle.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to create the specular patterns or the caustic patterns or whatever it is. Patterns on the bottom.
He's drawing shiny streams.
And trying to show as the water, as we move to the right in the composition, the water gets deeper, which is why it's getting bluer and greener. And as it moves to the left, we get more shallow water as it comes towards the beach, which is where the tree is, where the base of the tree is.
Osvaldo says, I got your book today. It is amazing.
Hey, that's great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What is it that you like about bears?
I mean, I love all animals. I love bears just for, their size. They're very similar to humans. Their intelligence. I think they're just incredible animals.
I still hold that The Iron Giant is one of my favorite non-Disney animated movies. Do you guys know who was responsible for the art style?
Brad Bird directed it, so I'm sure he has something to do with it. I don't know who art directed it.
Yeah, I'm sure he was incredibly involved in the look because, I mean, he also didn't, speaking of incredibly involved, he did Incredibles, and that's obviously known for its style as
Yeah.
well as being a great movie.
Yep.
Someone said there's something about the back of that alligator that makes me want waffles.
That's pretty darn funny. So if any of you are Alan Stone fans out there, we're going to see Alan Stone tonight in about 4 hours.
Bears.
Yeah,
Alan Stone's a musician, for people that might not know who that
yeah,
is.
he's playing here at the in Orlando.
Twitch question. The ARL sounds awesome. Was that always a thing? And has there ever been an incident of Disney losing large portions of original art?
Yes, yes, it's always been a thing, and yes, they've lost art.
Yeah, there was a fire, right?
Yeah,
One time.
that I'm not sure. I don't know about the fire, but I do know that uh, before they really got serious about the ARL, artists would take home big chunks of drawings or big chunks of animation and keep them as their own.
Yeah, I think actually, sort of as a direct result of that, there's a lot, and this is not a fact. This is an anecdotal fact. There seems to be more artwork available to purchase from the older films than from the newer films, like original drawings and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to combine these layers. Where am I? These layers right here. I'm going to combine them together, and then I am going to start adding shadow, making them darker. And we're going to build this up so that we get some depth here. I'm going to do a clipping mask. And I set it to multiply. Now first I'm just going to start with and I'm going to do it with warm shadows. Cool within the warm. And
This is a funny comment. I love how this has just turned into let's play 20 questions with a former Disney animator who's desperately just trying to focus on his drawing.
that's all right. I don't mind.
Who are you looking for?
They basically just described every single one of our streams.
Exactly.
That's our format.
It starts off with actual productive questions of like what sort of pen is what kind of device is that? Then turn into who would win, Superman or Batman?
True.
Neither one of them would just say Martha.
Oh God,
Why'd you say that there?
that is the lamest. How did that get by? So adding a little bit of shadow here to give it a little volume. Trying to keep this a little bit looser. There we go. There we go.
Quick question. Seriously though, Green Arrow or Hawkeye? Who would win?
I don't know.
I've always been a fan of Hawkeye.
Okay, so this is going to be multiply. Why is that going outside?
That's kind of true, but have you ever heard that mammoths are back from extinction? Like one was seen in Siberia. Mammoths.
No, they're not.
Have you ever seen any of Kim Jong-ji's artwork?
Yes, very much.
You've had dinner with
Guy-
Kim Jong-ji. You know him.
Yes, he's a genius. So I'm pushing him into shadow right now.
Twitch comment from a first-time chatter. I bought your fur brushes a while back, and I have to say they are the best brushes I've ever used in Procreate.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Oh, we got a bunny back.
Oh, well, back. Okay. He's under your desk.
Okay, so now we're going to add some dappled sunlight. Now that we have this in here. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to go down.
We'll just ask if you have any pets.
He was just sitting there, down here, under the desk.
There's literally a bunny hopping under Aaron's desk right now. You have 2 dogs, 3 cats.
We have pets.
Oh, he's nibbling on. Or it looked like he was going to nibble on your Ethernet cord.
That's what's been going on with the network lately.
That's Little Saboteur.
Would you be able to do the same piece of art in traditional art, or is there a gap between what you can do in digital and traditional?
I could definitely do it in traditional. It wouldn't be necessarily exactly the same.
Would just take longer, too, right?
Yeah, it would take longer, and it definitely would end up looking a bit different. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, he sees me coming.
Where are you? Come here. Want me to get him?
Nah, they won't let you. Little bugger.
That little bugger.
We should set up a rabbit cam. Just have it outside during the live streams.
Yeah.
You're in one corner, the rabbit's in the other.
So here, now I'm going to go into, is it this one? I'm going to come into here and I'm just going to, actually, I'm going to double it up. Turn one off. I'm just going to hit it. Actually, I'm going to do that again. I want to go the direction of the sunlight. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating some dappled light. And you can't really see it yet. It's a little bit dark. There.
There we go.
And I'm going to go in and I'm going to brighten up the areas that that's going to be the sunlight. There.
Is the gator supposed to be your dad looking for some lobster, crab, or anything seafood?
What's that? What did you say?
Is the gator supposed to be your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were raised by gators.
Yeah, that's where, yeah, okay, that's what I need to get rid of. Need to get rid of that the line, that line work. And then fill in the rest. Yeah, that makes it better. Makes it just a little bit more sketchy, a little more abstract, but now I can go in here.
How close do you think we're getting to one more thing?
Close enough. Relax.
Still got a ways to go.
I know you're bored, Dustin, but relax.
I was cracking a joke.
Come on, I was cracking a joke.
I was cracking.
I was making a joke to make you forget how screwed you are.
It's an ace. It's an ace.
All right. The freaking bunny cracks me up.
Is that?
There's a bunny.
What's that?
He's right there.
I thought I heard something.
If you were to do this
No.
if you were to do this traditionally, what medium would you likely choose?
Probably acrylic.
It's chewing on the wires.
Oh, let him. He'll learn not to.
Well, if they're audio cables, they don't carry any electricity. They'll just ruin our sound.
Well, it looks like the
Did he actually chew it, or was he just sniffing it?
He got pretty deep in there.
Oh, did he really?
Oh yeah.
Did he really?
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, he really did.
Oh, little bastard. I think we're going to have a little Hassenpfeffer for dinner tonight.
We should probably close it.
Keep an extra eye on.
Cook! Cook! Where's my Hassenpfeffer?
What was the first movie you remember seeing in the movie theaters?
Probably Robin Hood. And the Disney's animated Robin Hood with my grandfather. It was either that or Old Yeller. Although Old Yeller I remember seeing at the drive-in.
First one I remember seeing was E.T. at the drive-in.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a good one.
1984, I think. Where did E.T. come out?
I saw
Well, it
Orca.
came out in 82. I saw it in 84 because it was still in theaters.
I saw Orca at the drive-in. Boy, that was traumatic.
Never seen that.
Oh, it was horrible. The killer whale, and it's a female, and she's killer because these guys kill her baby. It's horrible.
That had to have been a like Jaws momentum.
Yes, exactly. Let's do it with killer whales.
Felix says, never missed Disney on TV, but for me, first movie in theater was Dario Gale and the Little People.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
What is the most dangerous animal in Australia?
Oh man, all of them.
Depends on if you count a great white in Australia or not. But they're definitely there. Although sharks get a bad rap, they're not really.
The funnel web?
Hmm?
Box jellyfish? Funnel web? I don't know. Funnel web spider?
There's the one jellyfish that is like extremely tiny.
Yeah, the box jelly. Is it box jellyfish?
I think isn't the box jellyfish like the super big jellyfish?
No, they're not big. I don't know if they're super tiny though either.
I mean, they're so small that if you get into contact with one, you don't feel the sting, but you almost instantly become paralyzed, like to the point where you can't even breathe.
Wow.
I don't know how accurate this is, but according to the first thing on Google, the deadliest animal in Australia is the blue-ringed octopus.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Ah.
Yes.
The bites are usually painless, but within 5 to 10 minutes, the victim can start to experience paresthesis,
Oh, that's what.
numbness, muscular weakness, and difficulty breathing and swallowing. There's no antidote. You simply have to wait it out.
I thought it was why did I always think
Box jellyfish is on the list too, by the way.
Doesn't the jellyfish have a similar?
I'm sure.
Cassowaries on the list.
Yeah, they'll just stomp you.
Is the tigerfish in?
Funnel web spiders on the list. There you go. You were. Oh, saltwater croc.
Yeah, they're pretty nasty.
Is the tigerfish up?
Lionfish?
Huh?
Lionfish, you mean?
Lionfish.
Yeah, they're from there. They're not super. They don't. You don't. Humans don't encounter them as much because they're on the reef.
It's an interesting question. How difficult would it be to animate this image without sacrificing quality, or would you draw it differently for animation?
I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, you would draw this differently for animation, though, right?
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be rendered. Faux show. I wanted this to have a little bit more looseness and just spontaneity to it, and it's not coming out that way. But oh well, that's why I'm trying different things to see if I can get them to work. One thing I'm going to try to do is this. I'm going to put a layer between our tree branches and our crock. I'm going to set it to overlay, and I'm just going to make it warm. See what happens. Fill it. Well, that's not what I wanted. Holy cripes. Let's knock that back a little bit.
You guys like Brussels sprouts?
Love
Love
them.
them. Grilled Brussels sprouts are awesome.
Zenji said, this is random, but do you have any favorite snack recommendations?
What's that?
Favorite snack
What's that
recommendations.
salsa you just bought a case of, or the spice?
Oh, that's the it's the garlic, chili oil, and well, chili. It's a Asian condiment. I love that stuff. I can't get enough of it. I go through a jar about every 2 days. I go through phases of all kinds of different snacks, exotic snacks, and then more domestic. And these are going to be adjusted. I got to get the water right on this crock. In just a minute, I got to go in with some bright colors. I've actually got a brush that I made. Let me see if it'll work in here. Da-dum, da-dum. No, oh, there. We're almost there. I'm gonna pack this one up pretty soon.
Who were the top animators on Princess of the Frog yet, Aaron?
I don't know. I can't remember. That was a while back. I wasn't animating on Princess and the Frog when I was there. I didn't work on that one. I was working on some other films.
So you were developing King of the Elves at that point, right?
I was, yeah.
Were you at Yellowstone during the rutting season?
I have been. Not this year.
Now, what is rutting season again? Is that when they're
When the males are fighting for the females.
I'm guessing that's during like the August-ish.
Yeah, it's about right.
Oh.
November, December, a little bit later. November, December. All right, so I'm just gonna put all this into do this. Like that. Put that all into a folder.
What's the best time of year to go to Yellowstone if you are looking to see the most possible amount of animals?
I would say
Is it September? Late August?
September.
Anytime September?
Yeah, late September.
26th, maybe at 3:40 in the afternoon. That's a specific time when you see the most animals.
At that moment, you will see specifically 15 deer, 3 bison, a bear, and 3 wolves.
That's right.
Dancing a conga.
Would Disney ever sell you the rights to King of the Elves so you could finish it?
Probably not. I would love it, but no, I don't think that's in the cards.
Who's looking forward to live workshop in February?
Me. Do you prefer working in silence or do you prefer working with music?
Music.
Have cheetahs been known to kill or attack humans?
No. No, not that I know of.
I'm not saying they can't.
No, I don't know that they are known for that. Are known to have done that, I should say.
That's more common with like hippo. Like aren't hippos the deadliest now?
Yeah, hippos and crocs.
Hippos and dogs. Yeah.
Color dodge. I'm setting my blend mode to color dodge on my paintbrush. I kind of come in here and
Kayla says I've gone to Yellowstone this past September. There were a ton of people, so you had to wait in line to see animals. And I've also gone in May, and there was more young wildlife to see.
yes, in May you'll see a lot of the bison.
A lot of newborn.
Yeah, actually no. When did we go? We went in March, or was it May?
I think it was May.
I think
Yeah.
it was May, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, bison.
We saw
A bunch of
at
grizzlies.
that time we saw a lot of newborn.
Bear cubs.
That's right.
We saw a lot of newborn bison, and they're still shedding their winter fur off. It was in September when we went to.
Do you remember?
26 September. I don't know if that's the actual date, but
Pretty good.
you play guitar, right, Aaron? Maybe you
Yes,
can play some music during one of the live streams.
You know, I used to play a lot. I don't play that much anymore. Ronnie plays a lot. So I'm just going through it and burning in some areas to add some detail. This one definitely took me out of my comfort zone, but it was fun.
Do you ever go to comic cons or animation conventions?
I have in the past. I don't on a regular basis, no.
We're typically at CTN and Lightbox, but
Yeah,
with COVID,
we haven't been doing much lately.
Can a warthog stab its tusk onto your leg and shin or bite you?
Yes. Yes, they can. Do you remember? We're almost there.
Almost there.
What happens if I go a little redder with it? No. I go green, bluer with it. Try going a little bluer just to see what happens.
How's the COVID situation in Florida? What COVID? COVID doesn't exist.
Very COVID-y.
Still here.
Are alligators like aggressive as crocodiles?
Yes.
Yeah, alligators are usually very relaxed.
Give him a little color. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what you're gonna do.
So I'm going to do. I'm going to give him a little bit of color.
A little bit of.
There we go. Give him some little. Trying to get some water illusions happening.
Illusions.
The illusion of water. There. Close enough. We're getting there, man. I'm just, I'm over it now.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Sue on YouTube says, this is such a great composition, such a strong line for the eye to travel.
Oh, thank you. Because I'm over it.
Take a break. Finish it up later. No, there's no rule that says you have to finish them
True.
in one sitting. Did you use any reference for this image?
I used this right here. That's an alligator. And that's it.
That's not it.
Actually, someone asked a question. Do you ever actually plan on doing a very in-depth piece over multiple streams?
Oh, we could do that. I don't like to spend more than a couple of hours on a piece, but no, we could definitely do that. Throwing in some texture here.
What animator was your biggest influence?
Glenn Keane. Glenn Keane, Faux Show. He was my mentor and really my inspiration for what I do. I still find him a very big inspiration. Throwing in some texture in here. I think just making that kid a silhouette would be better. I'm gonna try something. I never did flop this one. See what it would look like.
Do you know a lot of female animators?
Yes. Well, I know female animators. Come on, baby.
Aaron, what are your plans for this year?
Snow bear. Getting snow bear done. It's our biggest plan. Or mine. My biggest artistic goal. My plans for this year, my biggest plans for this year are getting snow bear done and losing weight. Getting more active, getting back to a more better fighting weight. I'm going to start up a new MMA career, and I want to see where I go from there.
Based on the earlier question, it'll be exclusively for animators.
Yes.
Fighting between animators.
You get these little vines that wrap around each other. You get all these little leaves on them. Makes a good silhouette.
Alyssa asks, actually, it's kind of small on the screen, just so you know, Aaron.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Alyssa asks on YouTube, do you have any advice for preparing for the workshop in February? I would like to participate, but I'm not sure what to expect.
Well, it's going to be live figure drawing. We're going to be drawing human figures that are going to be posing. So if you want to prepare, then prepare through, have people pose for you and draw them.
Also, just, yeah, practice gesture drawing because you don't want to get too caught up in details. You know, trying to get fluid line.
That's the biggest thing I want to try to break you from is getting caught up on, getting super tight really early.
But it should be a nice full day of drawing, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a fun one.
There we go.
Yeah, Eric says MMA, mixed martial animation.
That's right. There we go. I want to close up some of these areas and get some interesting negative space going on. The perspective still doesn't work for me that well, but what the heck?
I think it works. When I'm looking at it, there's something about the depth between it's the person. Something about the depth between his body and his leg.
Yeah.
Can't tell if that's what it is.
Don't know. I don't know.
I think he's just flattening out a little there, is what it looks like to me.
Yeah. Where did I cover them up? Where's that? Is that better?
Hold on, I got a lag. Let me come around.
Without the light? I try to make him more of a silhouette. But that's probably a little better.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, when you have the dark shadow, it's like he gets flat for some reason.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Maybe you just need more shadow on the leg and less keep
Yeah.
it like that and darker down. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Or we just say we're done.
I think
Yeah.
it looks great.
There we go. It's it. Done.
Zoom and pan, zoom and pan.
Zoom in pan. There he is.
Justin, go ahead and pop him off the screen for a second.
There is our Maneater. He's a Maneater. Wonder what would happen if I do this.
One more thing.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's more of a experimental.
It's still one more thing.
What do you think of those, getting those water shapes in there?
Definitely interesting. Definitely shows the weight. Its weight a bit more.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that helps it a little bit, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Are these your water brushes, or are these the?
Those are my water brushes.
They're also available on Creature Art Teacher.
Yes, they are.
Each year, and weird.
I'll post a link to all the brushes.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Signed.
I got Hall Notes in my head now. Right? Is that Maneater? Is that Hall Notes?
What's that?
Wait, Maneater isn't Hall Notes, is it? It's who's thinks Maneater?
Maneater?
Yeah.
Hall Notes.
It is Hall Notes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And then I
Yeah.
was second guessing myself.
Oh, that's Hall Notes, baby. All right, so there you have it. There's our trying to do something a little different. Definitely came out different. I don't know how successful it is, but it was fun to do. And it's our little story of the giant man-eater, and probably could have done, really sell the idea if it's a man-eater by having a human leg in his mouth.
With a little bit of blood. Just pouring out.
Actually, someone suggested, and I thought it was kind of a cool story. It'd be a completely different story, but someone suggested you should just have a Indian princess like laying on his back just casually, like.
Oh, that's a cool
like
idea.
he's riding the gator like Sunny.
Yeah, so you're like, what is this all about?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, but the one thing you did see, you saw we made a brush. We made a crocodile brush. So that was kind of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you can make brushes to kind of serve any purpose you want. But also, I want you to remember, we've got February 26th. We've got our big. Actually, you want to run the commercial again?
Yeah, let's run it.
Run it.
Actually, let's run it at the very end. We'll make that at our own.
Oh, okay. So so we've got our.
I say let's run it now because people won't want to watch it again. Run
Oh,
it.
that's true, but they won't.
Oh, go ahead then.
Run it now.
See you right.
Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and I'm very excited to tell you about my next live event. It's going to be February 26th, and we're going to be doing a course, an all-day course from 11 a.m. Eastern time till whenever, usually about 5 hours, but it's an all-day course on costumed figure drawing. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do something a little different this time, where I'm going to bring in live models, and I'm going to set up my easel, and I'm going to be using traditional media. Now, hold on. That doesn't mean that you have to use traditional media. If you want to use an iPad or a Cintiq and work digitally alongside, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But I'm going to work traditionally. I might try some watercolor, some charcoal, some pencil, who knows. But I'm going to be using live models, costumed, and so we're going to be talking about fabric. We're going to be talking about folds. I'm going to talk about lighting and how lighting hits the form. We're going to be talking about features, hair, all kinds of stuff, along with doing gestural drawings, 1-minute poses, 2-minute poses, 5-minute poses, 20, and even a long rendered pose. So there's going to be a completely full day. It's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, that's February 26th at 11 a.m. So go on over to creatureartteacher.com/live and you can get all the information there. Now remember, spots are going to be limited. So if this is something you're interested in, jump on it. We're going to have a lot of fun. And like I said, it's an absolutely full day. It's a lot of drawing. It's a lot of information. But most of all, like I said, it's going to be fun. So I hope to see you there. Go on out there, put some beauty back into the world, and we'll do some figure drawing together. Thanks. So thanks for joining us today. We had a great time, and I really do hope we get to see you on February 26th. Well, actually, we're going to have more live streams between now and then, and we're going to be promoting it then too. So I'll see you again before February 26th, obviously. But I had fun today. If anything you got out of it, experiment out of today, because I definitely got out of my comfort zone and just wanted to try something new. And, you know, you got to see me struggle, and it's always fun to do that. And you always grow when you struggle. You're not learning unless you're making mistakes, I always say. So, anyway, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Have a safe holiday. We got a concert to go see. We're going to go see Alan Stone. But anyway, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Go on out there, put some beauty back in the world, and we'll see you later. Bye.
See you, everybody.
Bye.